Stop to think how happy the media and the Democrats are today. They always wanted to break this alliance. I said this last week, and today they got their wish.
We are happily continuing to cover the fallout of the messy political divorce of Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And one of the first high-profile right-wing figures to react to this on live TV was MAGA Fox News host and Trump ally Laura Ingraham. And the reason I'm laughing is she was visibly deflated and depressed at how terrible this was for Trump and Musk and how delighted we Democrats are. And so let's you and I together have some schadenfreude and react to her breakdown on live TV and her interview with Charlie Kirk, in which she glumly notes, "I don't think this is reparable." But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, it's always fun to delight in the despair of MAGA propagandists when it comes to the political consequences of Donald Trump and Elon Musk's stupidity. So let's start with this clip here.
But as for the Doge cuts not being made permanent, yeah, that's also not Trump's fault. But obviously, I get why Musk is mad about that. I would be too. But again, Elon should see that Trump is not the problem here. Like, what Republican could have done more with this tiny majority than Donald Trump, I ask you? Now, I'm convinced that until we have multiple bond auctions that just fail, we're simply not going to have the votes needed to push through large-scale spending cuts. Just not going to happen. There's no Republican will. There's no bipartisan will to do that.
So it's not Donald Trump's fault that he has failed to lead his cultish Republican Party to victory here. He controls the White House. He controls the House. He controls the Senate. He controls the Supreme Court. And we've been assured that he's such an inspirational leader who totally controls the GOP. It is his fault that he is failing to deliver on his promises to the extent that it's the fault of any politician to do so. Would Laura Ingraham accept Rachel Maddow on MSNBC saying, "Oh, it's not President Biden's fault that the Democrats didn't get to do X, Y, and Z"? No, she wouldn't. But she's desperate. She's scrambling for something. "Oh, please don't. It's not Donald Trump's fault. He's just helpless in all this," as the most powerful man on earth. Here's another clip.
Now, stop to think how happy the media and the Democrats are today. They always wanted to break this alliance. I said this last week, and today they got their wish.
I love it. Your despair nourishes me. Yes, we are happy about this. At least the Democrats are. The media is probably happy, and to the extent that it's generating clicks and it's generating attention. I don't know if they're ideologically happy about it, but I'm both. Okay. And that's okay. This is good because, listen, don't get it wrong, Laura. If you're watching, number one, please be sure to like and subscribe. But number two, you guys still have the power. You still have the White House. You still have the House. You still have the Senate. You still have the Supreme Court. You have 30 state legislatures. Fox News is killing it. Your allies in right-wing media like Charlie Kirk, whom she's about to interview and we're about to have on here, you guys are dominating. This is a silver lining. This is a small victory. The implosion, the messy, humiliating implosion of this alliance between Musk and Trump. And who knows what might happen in a week. So, hey, don't be so down. You guys still have a winning hand. But yeah, for the moment, hell yeah, we are delighting in this. No apologies.
Trump's always been a populist. Sometimes he was a Democrat, sometimes he was, but he's always been a populist. He's a real estate guy who does deals.
Then why isn't he able to make a deal with Republicans to get what he wants? It's his party. See, you see how she talks out of her ass? She's like, it's not Donald Trump's fault that he wasn't able to make this deal with Republican lawmakers to get what he wants, like including Doge cuts, like instantiating them into law. It's not his fault that he wasn't able to make that deal, but also he's this epic deal maker who's just like really good at what he does. He's like amazing. He's the master negotiator, except when it's politically convenient to say it's not his fault. She can't make up her damn mind. Much like Trump, who is ideologically inconsistent. He's not a populist. He certainly uses populist rhetoric. Donald Trump is a faux populist. Donald Trump has the aesthetic of a populist, but he governs very much like an establishment figure. Like in this case, what's he want to do? He wants to slash social safety net programs like Medicaid, which is happening on his watch. Anywhere from 10 to 13.7 million Americans will lose their Medicaid coverage as a consequence of Trump's one big beautiful bill. And he's cutting taxes for the rich. That is as neocon as it gets. Here's another clip.
More isn't being cut? Yeah, of course not. But train your frustration not on the guy who's fought everyone to get where he is, but on the people who are blocking Donald Trump.
No, Donald Trump Musk's beef is with this bill. Donald Trump is pushing this bill. He's not saying, Trump isn't saying, listen, I don't like this bill, but this is the best we can do at the moment. So please, like, Trump is enthusiastically saying, this is all me. This is my one big, beautiful bill. Get behind it. So if Musk has a problem with the bill, then it makes sense that he's going after Trump, who is the, driving force of the Republican Party, and his failures to do things that Elon Musk wants, to the extent that they're any good. That's Trump. And Musk has every right to pick a fight with Trump over those things.
And as for the president, he should simply disengage. Musk is his own person. The government contracts that he has stand on their own merit. They shouldn't be called into question. Threatening to pull them, that's not wise. When 5 minutes ago you were, of course, hailing Musk's work and helping rescue the stranded Americans in space. Elon Musk is like the Thomas Edison of our time. He sacrificed for America personally and professionally. And he wanted to make the Trump presidency happen, and it did. And
damn, Laura Ingraham saying it's foolish of you, Donald, to threaten Elon Musk's government subsidies and contracts, calling him out. How about that? I disagree with all the other stuff that Musk is the Edison of our time. The rest of it's true in the sense that he threw his entire weight behind Trump, and he's suffering the political and reputational consequences of that. I have no sympathy for Musk. Musk gets no sympathy or empathy from me. He made his bed, right? And he deserves what he gets as a consequence. There was a way to thread this needle where you could back a preferred political candidate and not be quite so cruel and vindictive and petty. Jesus, the cuts that he has made to the USAID, there are credible reports indicating that 300,000 people have already died as a consequence, to say nothing of children in other countries that are now succumbing or being diagnosed with life-threatening illnesses that could have been prevented, and in the case of those who already had it, mitigated, managed, had Musk not slashed USAID. It's monstrous as a consequence. Again, these are two terrible people. This is Dracula versus Wolfman. Root for neither. So I disagree with her lionizing of Musk there, but I think it's interesting that she's like, hey, don't be petty, don't be authoritarian and threaten hypocritically to pull his government contracts and subsidies after you were just praising him.
So if Elon now joins hands with the Never-Trumpers after all that, look, there's nothing anyone can do about it. It makes me sad. It makes a lot of people sad. But I bet he's smart enough to soon discover what a sour and unappealing lot the Never-Trumpers are. So if Elon now,
I'm not sure that Musk is welcome among Never-Trump Republicans. I'm not one, so I'm not sure. But I would say that of all the conservatives, the Never-Trumpers are the only ones who have consistent principle and stick to it. So after Laura Ingraham has her cope sesh and goes through her feel, she invites on Charlie Kirk, the founder of Turning Point, they would never learn. Turning Point USA, conservative group, a major Trump supporter, and Charlie Kirk is really optimistic.
I'll say it's a tough thing to watch, this public feud. I actually think they're going to reconcile at some point, though, because
he says, "Listen, I think they're going to reconcile, and maybe they will. It's entirely possible. These two are very cynical and unprincipled. It's possible they'll be reconciled by the end of the day. Right now, it doesn't look good, and it doesn't look good to Laura Ingraham."
Donald Trump built this movement for 10 years. His supporters are not going anywhere. I hope that Elon and Trump reconcile. It'd be good for the country, and to do so privately.
Well, I talked to an insider today who said it's irreparable. That was the line. It is irreparable. But look, Donald Trump will sit down with anybody. So
yeah. Like Putin, Kim Jong-un. He loves. J.D. Vance once referred to him as Hitler. It's true that Donald Trump, I think, does carry grudges, but he's willing to, suppress them and carefully, demonstrate his contempt as long as you bend the knee and kiss the ring. Will Musk do that? It's possible.
So it's correct. Probably not irreparable on Trump's side. But Elon Musk, again, you run your own kingdom at your companies. You're still a public company. You can't totally do everything, but you're in charge. But look, Donald Trump's in charge, and Congress is Congress. So you gotta kind of you have to deal with the reality of what you have in front of you. Trump's a realist. He's and I love Rand Paul. Everyone loves Rand Paul, but Rand Paul ran for president. I don't know how many times, but if they want to try to run Rand Paul again, I mean.
Rand Paul isn't trying to be president. Rand Paul is trying to listen. I don't like Rand Paul either, but I will say when it comes to fiscal responsibility and fiscal conservatism, Rand Paul is fairly consistent for a Republican lawmaker. And he's asking Trump to be consistent and honest and follow through on his campaign promises. You don't have to be, I guess you want to be president. No, I just want the president to follow through in his promises. I don't think there's anything, particularly noteworthy about that. Laura Ingraham seems to think so. Here's another clip.
But do you believe, Charlie Kirk, that 80% of America wants to start a new party with Elon Musk and not be part of the Trump coalition?
No, are you going to have Karine Jean-Pierre go be the spokesperson? I mean, come on. Let's be honest about the stakes.
Come on.
I mean, she said she's an independent now, allegedly, so maybe she can go be the spokesperson for this.
So I don't know what the polling is on third parties. I haven't checked it recently. My expectation is, if you polled Americans and say, hey, could you snap your fingers and you would have, a multi-party political system, would you do it? I imagine most would say yes, but the vast majority won't go through the effort of seriously trying to break the duopoly, which would be a superhuman effort. I mean, the funding and the legal mechanisms behind it. I mean, we are destined to be a duopoly. It is asymptotically impossible for this duopoly after 2 centuries to be broken. Not totally impossible, not constitutionally impossible, but to be so Herculean in its effort, the American people are just not going to be bothered with it. To say nothing of the fact that what we've seen, even from multi-party, like Westminster-style systems, like you see in the United Kingdom and other European nations, is they ultimately tend to, not totally perfectly and not rigidly, but they tend to broadly create coalitions. There tends to be a right and a relative right and a relative left party. That you tend to see 2 distinct coalitions. So it seems like 2 is almost like the inevitable outcome, be it a concrete party or coalitions of parties. So yeah, there you have it. Laura Ingraham, MAGA Fox News host, close ally of Donald Trump, visibly depressed about the outcome, visibly sad, upset that we on the left, those of us who are liberals and progressives and pro-democrat, pro-democracy, are delighted about this fallout, which again, the schadenfreude nourishes me. And she sadly notes, Charlie Kirk, she believes this is irreparable. And then she criticizes Donald Trump for being foolish and authoritarian and threatening Elon Musk's government contracts and subsidies. I love it. I hope you love it. And in the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.